some information with you, and this topic is going to be about myths around solar. I've heard a lot of misconception about solar from government agencies to the public. It's kind of crazy, and I just wanted to kind of debunk some of that stuff for you and let you know what the real truth is about things so that you can make an informed decision about solar. So I know a lot of people think that when birds fly over solar panels that they'll cook, and it's not good for the wildlife, and that's just not true. Solar PV will not kill any animals or humans from their heat. They do get a little warm, not any hotter than what the surface of your paint would be on your car in a hot day. So it's definitely not going to hurt wildlife. So there's no issues there. PV is very safe. The technologies and the rapid shutdown requirements now, there's really no way that it's going to cause any physical harm to a human or shock them. Of course, in certain applications in DC, you cut into a wire or whatever, there's some potential there, but for the most part, there's no safety issues with that sort of thing. Some other misconceptions is that it does not work, solar does not work wherever it snows. That's not the truth. Now, obviously, snow has the ability to impede the performance of the modules. But most modules start producing energy. They start producing heat, and they'll melt off the snow and ice on their own. Now, with that said, that could be a few hours to a few days. So that just depends on ambient air temperature, that depends on, sorry, let me turn the volume down here, tilt angle, azimuth, all kinds of things. So you don't have to worry about that. In fact, modules can work actually quite well when they're cold. In fact, the colder a module is, the more power it produces. So it can work quite well in northern latitudes. And they have modules, in the Arctic Circle. So that's not an issue whatsoever. Some other myths, the solar panels have to be facing south. They don't need to face south. South, I'm sure, is optimal in general. Southwest or west can actually be optimal depending on what you got going on and if you're doing battery storage and when you're charging those and want to discharge those batteries, all that good stuff. Which you don't need batteries for solar to work. I'll cover that in the next one. So yeah, you can work basically from in the northern hemisphere, east to west, and everything in between. So east is 90 degrees, west is 270 degrees, south is 180 degrees. So we can work with anything between there. Of course, if you don't want to install anything to the north, that won't work very well. So speaking of other misconceptions, is you don't need an optimal tilt angle. A lot of people say, well, hey, I got a 612 pitch roof on my house. Is that gonna work? Yeah. You kidding me? It'll work. So we design systems around azimuth and tilt angle all the time, and we just design and build the system to suit whatever the needs are. We're a big fan of flush tilt systems, meaning that they are mounted at the same angle as what the roof is. No big deal. We've gone up to 12-12 pitch, which is 45 degrees, all the way down to zero, flat roofs like commercial ones. And then in that case, we do put them on a little tilt leg, up to like 15 degrees or so. So that's no big deal. But yeah, anywhere in between it'll work just fine. Do you need batteries? No, you do not. Most grid-tied systems do not have batteries. They work parallel with the utility company, utility companies do some form of net metering or buy back that excess energy. So you're kind of using them as a battery. It just comes in form of from a billing standpoint. It's a billing mechanism versus a mechanical mechanism. So it doesn't really make much sense to do so. Some other myths are the lifespan of solar. Most manufacturers have 25-year warranties on their products. It stands to reason that they'll last that long. We've had modules in operation since the late 60s. They're still operational. They have a very long lifespan. Most of them are probably going to last 30, 40 years. There is some panel degradation that occurs, but it's a very small amount, so you won't have to really worry about that too much. The other misconceptions are, and some myths about solar are associated with the technologies. You have some people that decide to not do solar because they're waiting for the next latest and greatest technology to come out, and there's always going to be something better coming out. In solar, it's not usually leaps and bounds. They're very small increments in technology and in efficiency and power output. Sure, there's some out there that have some pretty big jumps, but I would consider those not consumer grade, meaning that they're just so expensive that the average consumer just would not be able to justify the cost on them. But for the most part, that covers that particular subject matter there. Some other misconceptions are the incentives, about commissioning. Will the system attract lightning? I've heard. What happens with hail? So I'll address that. So it's not going to really attract lightning any more than what the house is already doing. So we install TVSS protection on the system, and that will help mitigate any issues with damaging the equipment. But for the most part, it's not going to attract it any more or less than before. Hail. Most of them are built to sustain a Class 1 hail rating, which is 45 millimeters. So a little bit bigger than a golf ball. They're pretty stout. They're not invincible, but it does take quite an event to be able to break those. And those are something that is going to be covered under your insurance. We've only replaced a few modules in a decade from hail damage. Where on one site you might have 50 panels and one panel got damaged. So it's actually we actually remove most of the equipment off the roof so that the roof can be replaced. The roof is the one that actually got all the damage, and there's not a scratch on our modules, but we had to take the equipment off so that the insurance company can get the roofer out there to replace the roof. That is probably more common than anything else, but it is what it is. So we know that solar works very well in the winter months. No issues there. You do not need to clean the snow off of it. A lot of people say, well, when it snows, I gotta go out there and I gotta get the snow off. It's like, no, you don't have to. I suppose you could if you wanted to, get a little extra something, but I don't think it's worth the safety risk, especially if it's on a roof. On a ground mount, it's a little bit different story, but it is definitely not required. But you need to be very, very careful on how you do that. We do have a video on how to remove snow from a PV system. We do sell kits as well to be able to do that. Just understand the method, how you're doing it, and making sure that you do not damage the panel, because